Hello everyone, welcome to short static concept videos pertaining to social issues and social justice. In this video, we will look at a very important current affairs theme, which is subcategorization of OBCs. This is particularly to do with caste. Within the broader theme of caste, this is about an expected sort of question or an expected pointer in our mains examination. So subcategorization of OBC. Now the subcategorization of OBC is basically this, it's to do with the Rohini Commission. Now this Rohini Commission, Justice D. Rohini Commission, this was set up to kind of come up with recommendations vis-a-vis subcategorization of other backward classes. The commission already has submitted its report, but the findings, the details, the recommendations, etc., we still are not very clear about. So this was a commission that was set up in 2017. Right, 2017, actually on Gandhi's birth anniversary, so 2nd October 2017. So that's when it was set up, of course, by the President of India, by the then President of India, under which is a certain provision in the Constitution, Article 340 in the Constitution, wherein the President actually has a power to appoint a commission to investigate, to look into the conditions of the backward classes. So basically the mandate of the commission was to look into, to examine the inequitable distribution. So to look into in what possible ways distribution of resources is not really, is not really getting right. There is some issue there. And in what possible ways something could be done. And of course, the ultimate idea is to kind of subcategorize that within the OBC, we need to figure out who are the castes that are doing exceptionally well. They are already sort of above the rest, which is of course broadly called the creamy layer. And then there are castes that are partially doing all right. And then there are castes that are rightly deserving. They are very much, they are the legitimate they should be the ideal ultimate beneficiaries. They must benefit. They deserve to be benefited from the reservation for the OBCs. So there was, so basically the commission was simply to required to kind of look into identifying different class groups and then sort of classifying them into various categories. So this is why we call it subcategorization. Now, in the case of subcategorization, again, we know very well that there are many scholars when they speak. So OBC reservation has been deliberated upon quite differently, because even those who speak in favor of reservation, right? Even those who speak in favor of reservation. So let's keep EWS aside, but the SC, ST and OBC reservation. So people are very clear about this, that although we have reservation for these three communities, the important point is, for every community, for every section, the logic of reservation is different. For OBC, the logic is social and economic backwardness that is leading to educational backwardness. For scheduled castes, the logic is discrimination and exclusion and historically disadvantaged groups and marginalization. For scheduled tribes, isolation and the backwardness that is due to this isolation. So you have reservation, but the logic for reservation is different for each of these communities. When it comes to the OBC, the other backward classes, right? Not castes. Often people write other backward castes. No, other backward classes. When it comes to the OBCs, remember, it's a huge chunk. 52 to 55% of India's population. It's an incredibly huge chunk of India's population. It's the most significant portion of India's population. And we must also remain aware that within the OBC, you have few castes that are very powerful. They are the dominant caste. They are also castes that are exploiting. And then you also have castes that are exploited. So you have within the OBC those very powerful, dominant, powerful to the extent that they can compel the state to look into their demands. For example, the Jats, the Marathas, the Pattidars, the Reddys, the Okaligas, the Godas, and so on, and the Yadavs. And there are also castes that are exceptionally weak, marginalized, and powerless, and always at the receiving end of inhuman, exploitative caste practices. So these are some of the pointers which is why it was pointed out that we need to subcategorize, that we need to have categories A, B, and C, on the basis of which we will be able to figure this out, that these particular castes do not need reservation, and these particular castes need reservation in this respect, and these particular castes duly, rightly so, deservingly must be getting reservation. So subcategorization is basically an attempt at making sure that we are able to make use of reservation the right way, that the social justice mandate that is associated with reservation does not go down the drain. Reservation is supposed to cater to a particular lacuna, to cater to a particular inadequacy in our society. And if we do not do subcategorization of OBC, then what will happen is that the forward block, the most dominant, the most influential, they will eat up all the benefits, and much of it will just go to one particular section, one particular portion of the community, and the rest of the community will remain deprived. So subcategorization in that sense is an earnest, it's a wonderful, and it's a welcome step or move towards making reservation closer to the ultimate objective, which is social justice and in the long term empowerment of marginalized communities. So this is broadly what I think is important in this context. Of course, there is more, but because it's a short video, I think some of the pointers that have been mentioned here remain very crucial and critical. And I hope you were able to take a note of those and will be able to make use of them as and when the situation arises. Thank you very much for paying attention. All the very best for your preparation, and I'll see you very soon.